What up, folks? Once again, it's your boy Tim. We're going to be talking about Brandon Calloway, another African American that is in the news after having a controversial encounter with police. Some of you folks may not like what I have to say. Simply put, being African American should not excuse bad or criminal behavior. And this is what we're going to be talking about today. Now, Brandon Calloway apparently was pulled over for running a stop sign. And as opposed to pulling over, which is what you typically do when you encounter the blue lights in your rear view, he drove another half mile or so from the police, darted out of the vehicle, ran into his house, and the police chase ensued into his home. And he was roughed up. But I'm going to actually give you the news report, and we'll talk about it on the other side.
This morning, there's growing outrage over a violent arrest of a black man in a Memphis suburb. Cell phone video of the incident, we have to tell you, is disturbing to see. Oakland, Tennessee police officers are accused of racial profiling and excessive use of force in the arrest of Brandon Calloway. They chased him through the family home, and photos taken after the arrest show the suspect bleeding from his head. Now, this all happened after an alleged traffic violation. Danya Backus has the story, including Calloway's reaction. Danya, good morning to you.
Good morning to you, Gail. In an affidavit, police say instead of pulling over for allegedly rolling through a stop sign, Calloway then drove to his family's home with officers in pursuit. Calloway then ran inside the home, and that's right around the time when this recording taken by his girlfriend begins. Again, we must warn you, this video is graphic. This video shows the moment Oakland, Tennessee police officers entered the family home of 25-year-old Brandon Calloway. The officers can be seen chasing Calloway from room to room, one swinging a baton at him. Then a stun gun is deployed, but police say it had no effect.
Why are you chasing him and hitting him? He has no weapon!
Calloway is then restrained on the ground when an officer appears to step on his head or neck. Police say Calloway failed to stop at a stop sign and drove 32 in a 20 miles per hour zone. And instead of stopping for police, he drove about half a mile to his family's home. According to the police report, Calloway started running into the house while reaching into his pockets. Photos taken by Calloway's girlfriend showing him bloodied in the street after being detained have caused outrage online. They've been viewed hundreds of thousands of times and have generated almost as many comments.
Just watching the videos, like, this is like a bad dream.
Calloway is a college grad and entrepreneur who says he was completing a DoorDash delivery. The incident happened last weekend, and Calloway says he's still suffering from head and vision problems.
You see this stuff happen all the time, and the fact that it happened to me is really mind-blowing.
His trauma is a message to the world. This is the wrong way to do things. He didn't ask for the officers to use this amount of force.
I'm glad that I'm alive, like, blessed, but I wouldn't want any, like, I don't know how people would live with this.
The department says Calloway was cleared by medics before he was taken into custody. He is facing several charges, which include evading arrest and disorderly conduct. Police have not released any further details and told our Memphis affiliate the case has been officially turned over to the County District Attorney's Office. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation is also investigating.
Okay, now, as you've seen in the news clip there with Gail King and CBS, they tried to pull him over for running through a stop sign. How the hell do we get from a traffic stop for going through a stop sign to the police chasing you in your home from room to room? Now, I have to ask the question. Does asking that, how the hell do we go from a traffic stop to running from room to room in your house, does asking that make me a sellout? Does that make me an Uncle Tom? Or is that a legitimate question to ask? Listen, being African American, many of us have had the talk from our parents. Put your hands on 10 and 2, yes sir, no sir, etc., etc. There is no parent out there that is advising their kid to do what Brandon Calloway did during a traffic stop. And that is why I'm asking the question, does being African American excuse accountability? Now, the argument being made is that the police roughed him up. The police did not de-escalate the situation. The police should have not went into his house and knocked before going into his house and got a warrant. That may be a legitimate argument, but the idea that Brandon Calloway is 100% innocent in this is nonsense. When you're doing everything wrong, do not ever expect the police to do everything right when you're doing everything wrong. You're running from police, you're darting in your house where you could have weapons or anything. You know the inside of your house better than any police officer. So you're putting yourself at tactical advantage and all of this. He's darting from room to room, just literally putting their lives in danger. And the entire viewpoint coming from the African American community is that he's somehow a victim. Why not just pull over when they put the lights behind you? If you're afraid of police, drive at a slow pace and call 911. There's a host of things you could do as opposed to what he did. Now, in that clip, and in a lot of clips that are showing this, I'm going to show you how the media may be kind of skewed on this, because there is another soundbite that I had to kind of dig around and find, but it also is very telling. So I'll go ahead and give you this quick clip.
I'm bleeding. Hurry! Stop hitting him! Stop! Brandon, stop resisting! Brandon, just stop resisting! Just stop! Just stop! No! Just get on the ground! Get on the ground, Brandon! Get on the ground!
Now, I believe that's his girlfriend or family member that's yelling, and she's the one that filmed it. But in that clip, you can clearly hear her suggesting that you need to stop resisting and get on the ground. Even she is realizing that what he is doing is causing more harm to himself. You run in the house from the police during a traffic stop. What do you think is going to happen? They're just going to drive on. Okay, we didn't get him this time. We'll get him next time. The point I'm trying to make, whether you're black, white, yellow, or indifferent, whatever the hell color you are, there are certain actions you can take to escalate yourself to a bad outcome. And I would submit to you what Brandon Calloway did that day places a lot of responsibility in regards to what happened to Brandon Calloway that day on himself. Now, did the police go beyond their boundaries? Perhaps, and maybe he'll get a settlement out of this. But make no mistake about it, if you listen to the clip, the police claim when he was running into the house, he turned like he was reaching for a weapon. That statement is usually the predecessor to someone losing their lives. So that's all I'm trying to get across to you, not whether the police are innocent or any of that. Do not put yourself in these situations that statistically do not turn out well. When you run from cops, the outcome is generally bad. And you're actually hoping and praying that while you're doing everything wrong, they do everything right and gently deal with you. Even though you're making them run and chase after you, you're darting in and out of houses, you're putting their lives in danger. You're hoping that despite all of the wrong that you're doing, they do everything right. It's a simple formula. Do not put yourself in this situation, and you won't have to play Russian roulette like that to begin with. Hopefully, more folks learn from this, but the point I'm trying to make is that as African Americans that have all had to talk about how to deal with police, no parent advises their child to do what Brandon Calloway did. What Brandon Calloway did caused Brandon Calloway a lot of unnecessary suffering. It's your boy Tim.